Ben, you left public accounting for private, and one of the questions we get is after people move into private, often they let their CPA lapse. So can you talk us a little bit about how you've kept an active CPA and stayed a member of the NJCPA and the benefits?
Sure. Well, first, I moved from public to private to embrace some new opportunities, essentially. I felt that I had accomplished what I wanted to accomplish personally at a public firm, and I wanted to kind of take a role as, rather than the person reviewing the books and records and all the accounting transactions, I wanted to be a person who was preparing them, and I felt that there was a bit of an opportunity to be a little more creative, to whatever extent an accountant can be creative. But I really did like the idea of the CFO would call me into the office and as a private accountant and say, we did this deal, here's the contract, go figure out what to do with it. Versus as an auditor, the same thing would happen, but it would be, this deal was done, here's what they did with it, tell me what you think about it. And that's interesting and valuable as well, of course, but I really like the opportunity to kind of be my own creator and figure out my own problems myself. And I definitely have found that to be more invigorating, shall we say. In terms of my CPA license, I've kept it up because I think it's really important to have that as part of my name, part of my professional pedigree, and my credential if I do seek another job, or even within my company, when I call a department and say, hey, you guys are doing something and I think it actually should be done a different way, knowing that I'm a CPA and have the background that I have, really lends some weight to my decision-making powers and my ability to influence other members of the company, and also our clients and vendors with whom we deal. And it has not really been very difficult to keep up my license. It's just a bit of CPE every year. I'm fortunate. I teach as an adjunct professor at Fairleigh, so that gets me a lot of the credits without having to go beyond what I already was doing. So that's definitely a bit of weight off my back. But my company allows me to go to the CPA convention in Atlantic City every year. That gets me most of my credits. So it hasn't really been too difficult to do. It's just a bit of organization, making sure I hit the mark. But I would certainly recommend keeping the license. Every one of us works so hard to get it. I can't imagine working that hard for something and then just say, you know what, I don't need it anymore. And even of the off chance that I wanted to go back into public. Yeah. And it's a very off chance, but it would.
So I have a quick question, and for you, I guess, and Karen, tell me if I'm stepping on toes here, but as being in public accounting my whole career, I'm always curious in private, and I love the varying client base that I have, and I love the fact that I'm out of the office often, every month, every quarter. I'm doing different things and different clients. Do you still find that variety in your private firm?
It's a good question. I do, but it doesn't come from going to different offices or different clients. What it comes from is, I think, and especially being in a company the size of mine, so we're a public company, but we're not a large public company. But being a public company, we do all kinds of M&A, we have hybrid debt instruments. So where I find the variety is being able to participate in many different types of accounting areas within a small firm, or a smaller company, I should say. So I do get, I think, the variety, but kind of internally. So I can work with the IT department. We are testing out a new product, and what are the rules to get proper capitalization, and if we want to do this, we're going to bring in a vendor, but can we get the benefit of a tax benefit from bringing in an external vendor versus internal? All kinds of questions that come up from various departments, and I think that is the way that the variety comes into my life. I don't particularly like to travel, so I don't. There are two places I'm comfortable: with my house and my chair in my office. But I take your question, and it's a good question. But I think there are ways to get that variety. And now, it's possible that if I had left public to go to a large company, say, Verizon or a global conglomerate kind of, it's possible that in such a situation, then I would really find myself, I'm working on cash, and tomorrow I'm working on cash, and the day after I'm working on cash. But in my particular situation, I don't have that situation currently, so that's worked out really well for me, and I do like the opportunity to work with a team. in my current company and grow a team. In public, I think it's much more common that people come in and out. You do your 2 years and you're out, you do a year and you're out, do 5 years and you're out, versus in private, I found that people tend to stay a little longer in a company, and you get to build relationships and kind of say, we're here now in year 1, let's plan where we can be in year 5. And I think we have a little bit more continuity there.